right. What do these cards do? What are a couple of level 4s supposed to do in Yu-Gi-Oh? Sword Rizal, level 4, Fire Thunder. Okay, so it's a fire and a thunder. You can always special summon this card. If you have a Rizal number on your field or graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so the fact that it can special, even if it is a graveyard, is broken. Imagine if Chandra could just special itself for free. If you had a fire dragon in your grave, that'd be fucked. If summoned this way, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except rank 4 Xyz monsters. That's a pretty big restriction already. Like, being locked into Xyzs is already like a very, very big thing. Like, gimmick puppets do that already. But being locked into rank 4s is pretty bad. And this card is normal special. You can add 1 light pyro from your deck to your hand. Sure. Yeah, looks pretty good. What are the light pyros that exist? I'm unsure. Only God knows. Node. Okay, it's kind of like Sprite. Reminds me a lot of like Sprite so far, but just very restrictive. Target. Okay, so this is the Reborn, and its effects are negated. Jesus Christ. So this card sucks. Okay, so we have Node, Sword, Ice. Send 1 card from your hand. Okay, so this is a free special if you just pitch a card. Some this way. You can special. Okay, what the fuck? Okay, so fuck it. We're just specialing from deck. I like how Yu-Gi-Oh! This is something that I've kind of noticed with Yu-Gi-Oh! Design. We have just kind of started jumping the shark. Like, we are just reaching this point where people are just like, yeah, fuck it. We're just gonna have the most broken cards imaginable. Like, Ice summon Sword, Sword add Node, overlay Ice and Sword into an Xyz, have some effect. Node special, what's like, go into an Xyz, detach whatever, special Node effect, revive whatever, overlay into a new Xyz, like, Jesus Christ. All right, what about X Rizo? Send 1 Xyz monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. You can add 1 Fire Thunder monster. Sure. Doesn't this just do the same thing? Oh, it's light pyro. Oh, they're light pyros and Fire Thunder. Okay, well, buy your bonfires. Buy those bonfires. What about Plasma? Or like Palmo. Shuffle 1 hand or graveyard into the deck or extra deck. Wow, so X send, shuffle 1 back. Wowzers. You could send 1 blah blah. This card sucks. All right, what about Rizal Dual Drive? If this card is special summon, you can target 1. You can attach 1 from your graveyard to this card as material. For each material attached to this card, monster you control get 100 attack. Also, monster your opponent lose 100 attack. During your main phase, you can detach 2 and add 2. Wow, that's fucked. Yeah, sure. Just fucking add 2. This shit is so broken already. All these cards so far, they're really broken in terms of like extension. But what's the payoff? Where's the money? Razo, dead dander. Haha, dead neighbor. He's transphobic. I've seen this joke 50 times on Twitter already. You can attach 1 monster from your graveyard to blah, blah, blah. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then activate. Oh, that's not what's per turn. Oh, that's just not what's per turn. Then target a card in the field, destroy it. If an Xyz uses monsters you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1. Okay, so we have infinite pops, theoretically. But is this good enough? That's the problem. It's a card that always goes like 2 for 1, which is good, but it's not great. It's just kind of fine. You could overlay like 5 onto Dead Nander and maybe get like 6 material Dead Nander, but I don't know. Like this is a card that just says like, please summon Typhon. Please activate Change of Heart on me. Please activate 1 Imperm on me, and I become useless. Plug in. Target 1 in your graveyard banishment, special summon it. Then you can attach 1 from your deck to a rank 4. Jesus fucking Christ. Why does every card do everything? This is actually the thing I was just talking about how like every card is starting to do everything in Yu-Gi-Oh. This is like the card. This is a card that specials from grave or banished. Also, you can attach something from deck. Like, why do we need to do that? Why does every card need to be so over 2? Okay, so you can just use both. Well, fuck me, I guess. Immediately Xyz and sure. This is so tight. A deck so boring I almost fell asleep reading it. That is how I feel. You know, like kind of while I was reading these cards, I was kind of like starting to trail off. These cards are so boring. It's so fine. These cards feel like they just don't do anything interesting. It kind of reminds me a lot of Sprite. When you looked at Sprite as an overall deck or like game plan or strategy, Sprite was very boring. When you like delved a little deeper and you kind of ignored the fact that like you could technically play any level 2, like Sprite was just a very uninteresting deck because it would be like, well, if I don't have a level 2, I lose the game. And this deck is like, well, if I don't have a level 4, I lose the game. It's very monotone in that sense, where it is one of those decks that has such a boringly linear game plan that anyone and their moms is able to like figure out second one. Like, it might be a good deck. Like, this might be a deck that has some sort of engine utility, but this isn't like a deck that's necessarily fun or interesting for like a player to play. This is a deck that very much much feels like one of those reset decks that Konami likes to put out every like year or year and a half, in the sense where a lot of cards where like every year or year and change, Konami will try and reset the game by introducing a bunch of new powerful decks. And usually like one or two of them are like very interactive, very hyper, very cummy-wummy. Think of like the Diabell Star stuff, or think of the Whitewoods cards. Like those are cards that have a lot of inherent synergy with like synchro archetypes, and you can basically build those however you want. This is a deck where it's like you are going to play this one way and you do not get a chance. You're gonna play like 15 of this engine, and then you're gonna have 20 non-engine, and then you're gonna have like 4 consistency cards or in 1 board breaker XD. Like I could already see what this deck list looks like, and I'm not saying that it's gonna be a good. I could already see what this deck list is gonna look like. Like it's gonna be 3 sword, 1 to 2 node, 3 ice, 1 X, like no Palma, 2 dual drive, tool detonator, maybe like 1 to 2 plug-in, 1 thruster, and then you're gonna play like Kage to Kage, and then you're gonna play Goblinberg, or the fucking Water Tenyi, or the Madolche, or you're gonna play Goblinberg, fucking Dynatracer, whatever the fuck that card, Dynatherium. This is like one of the decks of all time. I'm literally falling asleep to this shit. Like it's an archetype. It's the archetype. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about how Konami is kind of progressing with these sort of archetypes. I don't know how I want to feel about how Konami is kind of designing decks in the future. Like this feels like a combination of Sprite and Snake Eye in like all the wrong ways. This is like Snake Eye in the sense where like every card is a 1-card starter, and this is like Sprite in the sense where because the deck has so much natural extension and self synergy, hand traps feel so useless versus it some of the times, and sometimes your opponent would just have it. Like you could maybe you could double hand trap them, but then they just, you know, go into their XEs, and then it's just like you never did anything. Oh my god, this deck is so boring. What are your thoughts on the most boring archetype of all time? Let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, bye forever, rank 4s.